So you want to be a beekeeper and you're saying next spring is the year to do it, but you have no idea how much it costs. You don't exactly know what type of equipment you need. That's what this video is about. This is the end of my first season of beekeeping. I actually got some honey from one of my hives, which is great for your first year. So I'm going to share everything I used and how much it costs to help those new beekeepers out there. So for this video, we're going to make a couple assumptions. First assumption, you are buying everything brand new. Second assumption, you're buying everything separately. The third assumption is that you are buying from Blue Sky Bee Supply. That's an online website, great website. There is another one called Man Lake. The great thing about Man Lake is that they have free shipping over $100, but I think Blue Sky has slightly better prices overall, but they don't have the free shipping, I'm pretty sure. So you need to compare these two websites, see what works for you. Blue Sky Bee Supply and Man Lake, both are great beekeeping supply companies. I'm also making an assumption that you are getting 10 frame supers, which is what I'm using. But you need to know this, beekeeping is a little bit different in every region in America. So you may be doing something slightly different. The people in your area might be doing something slightly different. But I'm going to go ahead and break down first the components of a hive, and I'm going to tell you exactly how much they cost brand new, and then you can be the judge to find a way to make things cheaper. And at the end of pricing everything out, I am going to give you a grand total, and then I'm going to tell you a couple ways that you could save some money to make beekeeping a little more affordable. If you can save a little bit of money, that's always a good thing. So let's go ahead and talk about hive components and how much they cost. So in the background, you can see my hive that I was able to get 20 pounds of honey and 20 cut comb sections this year, which is great for my first year. So I'm going to first break down these components and then tell you how much they cost according to blueskybeesupply.com. So first we have the bottom board. This bottom board is basically the bottom of your hive. There's a couple different types you can get. You can get a screen bottom board, a solid bottom board. A lot of people switch off back and forth depending on the season. But a bottom board alone, just the bottom board costs $18. And this is important too. I'm not including tax or shipping on any of my prices. So taxes is going to be different, shipping is going to be different. So plan on spending a little more money buying this stuff brand new. So the bottom board is $18. This next one, this is the hive body. It's a deep super. It's a 10 frame super. That costs $45. It comes with a box and the frame, and it has wax foundation. There's 10 frames inside of there. So for 45 bucks, you can get the deep body. The next one is a medium super. It's smaller than the deep body, and that with the 10 frames is going to cost you $40. Now I have a second medium super that I'm about to take off for the season. That's also $40. I'm going to assume that you have a great first year and you're going to need this medium super. You may not actually need the second medium super your first year. Then it's actually raining, so I probably won't be inspecting my bees. Inside the hive is an inner cover. I'll probably show a shot of that. That inner cover costs $12. And then on top of that, the outside cover, that's your top cover, that again, brand new, is $23. So basically right now we're sitting at over 150 bucks for this hive setup. So that is a decent investment for beekeeping. Next up, we have bees. You gotta buy bees. Sometimes you can get a swarm. If you got a swarm, those are free bees. But the thing is, you are probably not going to get a swarm just getting into beekeeping. I know people that have been trying to catch swarms for years. Some have luck, some have never caught one, but don't count on getting a swarm your first year. A swarm is basically bees that have been crowded out of their nest. Sometimes they're wild bees, sometimes they're from a neighbor's hive and they've flown out of their hive because they don't have enough room. So a bee package costs about $125. A nuke, which is a queen, is basically a mini hive. The hive is already laying eggs. You have a wide range of ages. A nuke can cost $180. So getting a hive of bees is a big first-time investment. So we had a freak rainstorm. So I'm not doing a hive inspection for this video, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep going with, basically these are hive components that a lot of people say, you know, are optional, but really in the end you need to have these, so I'm going to include them. This is probably the cheapest bee component you'll ever buy. This is a entrance reducer, and you use this in the fall and the winter and the spring when your hive is small and it can't defend itself, and it also will keep in some warmth. This is only $1.50, but guess what? If there's anything you can make for beekeeping, it is an entrance reducer. But this is something you really need to have if you want your bees to have more success. Then we have a queen excluder. Some people use these, some people don't. Some people call it a honey excluder because sometimes bees will not go through it. But the purpose of this is to keep the queen in the lower section of your hive so that she doesn't start laying eggs where you're hoping to harvest honey from. People do not want honey that has eggs in it if you're doing cut comb, and it's just a lot easier if you keep the queen down in the hive body and the first super. Some people again use these, some people don't. I think they're worth having even if you're not using them because you may need it, and if you don't have it, you're not going to have it. So this is about $8. The next accessory for hives, which you really need anyways, this is a hive feeder. Especially if you're starting your hive off, you're going to have to feed your hive sugar water. There's lots of different feeders. This is a top feeder that goes on top of your super, and then you have your top cover over this. This is about $14. There's lots of different types of hive feeders, but this is the one I used. You can shop around and figure out the one you like the best. So now we've talked about everything you need for the hive. We've talked about purchasing bees, hive accessories that really you kind of need. And now we're going to finish up with tools and safety gear. And again, I'm just showing you the bare minimum, and you can get as deep as you want into the gear you think you need. So I'm trying to show you the best price for everything brand new, straight out of the box. So let's go ahead and share tools and safety gear. So you have to have a smoker. Again, some people don't use a smoker, very rare. But as a first year beekeeper, this smoker has been very, very handy. You don't know what you're doing, you're learning. And bees are aggressive at certain times of year and they're not aggressive at others. So at the beginning, you may not really be using your smoker, but I tell you what, when you're harvesting honey and taking honey away from the bees, you're gonna wanna use your smoker. This is a basic smoker, it costs about $30. A veil, at the very minimum, you want a veil. You can get an affordable one for about $16. This is a hive tool. There are lots of different types of hive tools. This one only costs $6 online through Blue Sky. But you can get more expensive ones that go up probably to about $25. And then I think everybody needs a bee brush to brush bees away, especially when you're harvesting and moving frames around. So that, oh, and last but not least, again, some people don't use them, and mine are pretty dirty, I need to wash them. But these are gloves. These are those special sheepskin leather gloves. These cost about $20. Again, I don't really use these that often, but the times I've used them this year, they've been really handy. And some people, after a couple years, you'll use less and less safety gear maybe, but it's important to have it in case you need it. So what is the grand total brand new to get into beekeeping? Not counting taxes, not counting shipping. This is the number. $373.50. What? That is a lot of money. $373.50. The reason I made this video is I did not know it was going to be that expensive when I got into it, and I had to be committed. Once I had my bees, I had to keep going, and it was an expense that I didn't really know was going to be that expensive. Now this is if you buy everything brand new. Now I'm going to give you a few tips on how to save a little bit of money. Number one, you can buy a lot of this starting gear as a complete set. They're starter kits on a lot of bee supply websites, so you can get a discount through there. You can buy used gear, used equipment. Now there's controversy about used equipment. You can spread disease. You don't want to bring mites or a virus onto your property. So that is up to you if you want to buy used gear. There's lots of people that say yes and no. So that's going to be a topic for another video. What's another way you can save money? You can get stuff as gifts. So I got some of my gear from my mom. Thanks again, Mom. I keep saying it in videos. Thank you, Mom. As a Christmas gift. So if you're getting into beekeeping, tell your family, hey, can you buy me this smoker for Christmas? I really want it. 30 bucks. Hey, can you buy me this bee veil? That's $16, right? So you can get stuff as gifts. You can also, what is another way? You can make some of this equipment yourself. The hive bodies are just square boxes. If you have basic carpentry skills, you can probably save a few bucks off of the Hive Components. You can find ways around some of the equipment. You can get a mosquito net that they sell for like $6. That can work. Some of this gear you don't need 100% of the time, but it's up to you to decide if you're going to get it or not. So hopefully this video has been helpful for those people that are thinking about getting into beekeeping. I actually got some of my gear for presents, and I got some of my hives at a flea market, or at least about half of the hive. So I saved about $100 by buying used hives. I won't get like, you know, random frames from somewhere that are drawn and you don't know anything about them. But yeah, so I managed to save some money through gifts and buying some used gear, and then a lot of my gear is also new. So if you have any questions, if you think you have a cheaper way to save money with beekeeping, go ahead and share in the comments below. Until next time, happy beekeeping.